Level 1, the Lube Rack Rookie. You are 19, your starter toolbox costs about $2,000, and 10 minutes ago you turned a drain plug the wrong way so hard you rounded it off in front of everyone. Hot oil ran down your glove, the service writer is already asking why Bay 3 is backed up, and the senior tech just laughs and says, "Welcome to the trade." This is the first secret of becoming a mechanic. You do not start by rebuilding engines. You start by trying not to embarrass yourself during an oil change. Your world is cheap uniforms, stained concrete, and hourly pay, around $14 to $16 if you are lucky. You rotate tires, reset maintenance lights, change air filters, and learn that every rusty fastener has its own personality disorder. You believe being a mechanic is mostly about strength and confidence. You learn it is really about sequence, torque, cleanliness, and not lying about what you do not know. You buy your first ratchet set, a torque wrench, a decent flashlight, and a pocket magnet because drop sockets vanish into alternate dimensions. The shop owns the big stuff. You own the hand tools, and that is where the money leak begins. Even at this level, the tool truck can ruin your week faster than bad dating choices. The humiliation is constant. You put a car on the lift wrong, and a foreman stops you before damage happens. You forget to tighten a skid plate fully, and it rattles on the test drive. You call every squeak a bad brake and every check engine light a disaster. But you are becoming useful. Your mentor notices that you stay late to clean up, that you actually listen, that you ask why the tire wears on one edge instead of just swapping it and moving on. Then one day a car comes in for a simple battery complaint, and the old guy points at you and says, "Diagnose it." Now you have a meter in your hand, a wiring problem in front of you, and a doorway into the next level. Level 2, the parts changer. You are about 20 or 21, and now the shop trusts you with jobs customers actually notice. Brake pads, rotors, belts, a starter, maybe an alternator if someone can check your work. You still smell like brake cleaner and burnt coffee, but you have graduated from pure maintenance into replacement work. This is where many mechanics get stuck for years. You believe the game is simple. If a part looks bad or throws a code, replace it. The hard lesson is that cars punish guessing. A code does not mean replace this part. It means this system is unhappy and you need to find out why. That little difference separates a mechanic from a professional parts canon. Your pay moves up a bit, maybe into the high teens or low 20s per hour, or flat rate if the shop runs that system. Flat rate sounds great when the board is full. It also means a 3-hour book job that turns into 6 because some genius cross-threaded everything before you ever touched the car. Suddenly, you learn another mechanic truth. The clock is your business partner and your enemy. Your toolbox grows. Impact gun, better sockets, brake caliper tools, pry bars, a multimeter, maybe your first used scan tool. If you are ambitious, you are probably $5,000 deep in tools now, which is amazing considering your bank account still looks like a hostage note. This is the level of scraped knuckles and expensive mistakes. You install brake pads backwards once and never do it again. You snap a rusty bolt in an aluminum housing and spend the rest of the afternoon learning new forms of regret. You find out that comebacks are poison. Nothing crushes your confidence like seeing a car you touch roll back into the lot, but you also get your first taste of pride. A customer comes back and asks for you by name. A shaky idle disappears because you fixed the vacuum leak instead of just throwing ignition parts at it. You start hearing the rhythm of the shop, who diagnoses well, who rushes, who blames parts stores, who never has comebacks. Soon the manager starts asking whether you want training, night classes, a community college program, maybe manufacturer classes if you are at a dealership. That question pushes you toward the real split in this career. Stay a parts changer forever or learn to think. Level 3, the student technician. You are 22 or 23, dragging yourself from work to class or from class back to work. Maybe you took a certificate program that costs $5,000 to $12,000. Maybe you went for a 2-year associate degree that lands closer to $5,000 to $20,000, depending on the school. Either way, you are learning that modern mechanics live in 2 worlds at once. Steel and software. You believe school will magically make you good. It will not. But it gives names to the things that used to confuse you. Voltage drop, fuel trim, waveform, parasitic draw, serial data. Suddenly the mystery noises and warning lights start becoming systems instead of panic. This is where you hear about the National Institute for Automotive Service Excellence exams. The famous certification path, people shorten it to letters in shops, but spoken out loud it still means the same thing. Proof that you know your trade. Certification is not a golden ticket, but higher paying shops increasingly expect it, and the best techs usually carry some version of it. The tests expire after 5 years, which is the industry's polite way of saying keep up or get outdated. You start practicing with a scan tool instead of fearing it. You use service information websites, wiring diagrams, and manufacturer bulletins. You learn to read freeze frame data before touching a wrench. That one habit alone can save hours and save you from becoming a very expensive guesser. The emotional cost here is time. Your friends are off work while you are studying charging systems. Your family asks why you are spending money on classes when you are already working. You cannot explain it neatly yet, but you feel the latter. The guys who can think get the better jobs. The guys who can only replace things get the leftovers. Then one afternoon, a senior tech hands you a no-start vehicle with no obvious answer and says, take your time. You test fuel pressure, you check spark, you verify power and ground, you find the fault. Not by guessing, by process. That is the moment you stop feeling like a helper and start becoming a technician. Level 4, the B-level technician. You are 24 to 27, and now your bay is no longer the beginner lane. You can do brake jobs start to finish, suspension work, cooling system repairs, tune-up work, drivability basics, and a decent amount of light diagnostics without needing rescue every hour. In many shops, this is the classic B-level technician. Not a master, not a rookie, but dangerous in a good way. Your income can jump into roughly $20 to $30 per hour, or around $45,000 to $55,000 a year in many markets, sometimes more in busy urban shops. On paper, it finally looks respectable. In real life, your body is tired, your tools are multiplying, and your mistakes are now expensive enough to hurt. You believe competence will finally make the job easy. Wrong. Competence just means the easy jobs disappear and the ugly ones find you. Seized hub bearings, hidden coolant leaks, misfires that only happen hot. A steering pole that shows up only after 20 minutes on the highway. You learn that diagnosis is part science, part pattern recognition, part stubbornness, and part refusing to let a car bully you. Your box may now hold $8,000 to $10,000 in tools. Better scan access, torque angle gauges, cooling system pressure testers, ball joint presses, specialty sockets for whichever manufacturer likes to make your life interesting. You also begin seeing how pay systems shape careers. The fast flat rate hero can make real money, but the sloppy one starves on comebacks. The careful hourly tech sleeps better, but may cap out sooner. This is also where rivalries show up. There is always one technician who can flag more hours than you, and one who thinks education is for weak people. Your pride gets tested daily. A comeback on your brake work feels terrible. A clean diagnosis on a nightmare electrical issue feels amazing. At this level, customers stop seeing you as the kid. Advisors ask your opinion before they sell a job. New hires ask where the hidden fasteners are. You have become useful enough that the shop depends on you, which sounds flattering until Saturday arrives and you are still under a truck while your family sends photos from a barbecue you missed. Then the industry changes around you. Hybrids, electric vehicles, advanced driver assist systems, radar calibration, camera alignment, network faults. Suddenly being a good old school mechanic is not enough. You either specialize or you start falling behind. Level 5, the diagnostic hunter. You are late 20s or early 30s, and this is where the trade gets weird. Cars stop being mostly mechanical puzzles and become rolling computer networks with tires. A customer complaint says the lane keeping warning flashes in rain, the battery dies overnight, or the engine stumbles only when the air conditioning kicks on after a hot soak. There is no obvious broken part waving at you. Just clues. You believe your experience should let you feel the answer. Sometimes it does. But the hard lesson is that modern diagnosis rewards documentation, patience, and information more than ego. You need wiring diagrams, technical service bulletins, scope patterns, software updates, and often a factory scan tool subscription that costs real money. This is where top technicians separate themselves. You might specialize in electrical diagnosis, drivability, diesel, transmissions, hybrids, or electric vehicles. If you go the hybrid and electric route, high voltage safety training becomes non-negotiable. This is no longer just hot exhaust and rusty bolts. It is insulated gloves, lockout steps, and knowing exactly what can kill you. Your pay can move into $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, and in strong markets or dealerships with the right skill set, even higher. Some manufacturer recruiting pushes 6 figures for elite technicians, though that is not the average, and it comes with serious pressure. You earn more because fewer people can do what you do. The industry has been short on technicians for years, and the ones who can diagnose properly are the rarest. Your tools change too. LabScope, advanced scan platform, battery maintainers for programming, calibration equipment, subscriptions, information systems. At some point, you realize your toolbox no longer looks like a metal box full of steel. It looks like a rolling electronics lab. The humor gets darker here. You can fix a network communication fault on a luxury crossover and still go home unable to repair your own sleep schedule. You can explain a 5-volt reference problem to an apprentice and still forget anniversaries because the reflash failed twice and trapped you at work. But this is the level where reputation forms. Other shops call for advice. Service advisors warn difficult customers. This technician is expensive because this technician is right. And once you become the person who solves the hard cars, one more door opens. Not just fixing cars, leading the people who fix them. Level 6, the A-level technician. You're in your 30s now, maybe after 4 to 6 years minimum, often more, and your name carries weight in the shop. This is the A-level technician, the master-level problem solver. You have the broad experience, the certifications, the scars, and the confidence to open a repair order with 3 failed prior attempts and not panic. You believe mastery means fewer surprises. In reality, mastery means you are the one assigned the surprises. Flood car with intermittent body control problems. Performance car with a phantom misfire after someone else installed aftermarket parts badly. Truck with a transmission complaint that turns out to be engine torque management data. You are not just fixing systems anymore, you are diagnosing everyone else's assumptions. This is where the National Institute for Automotive Service Excellence Master status matters most. Not because the patch alone makes you great, but because it signals range. Brakes, suspension, electrical, engine performance, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, and more. Many of the best technicians also stack manufacturer certifications on top. Training never stops because the cars never stop changing. Money finally starts to look serious. In many markets, a master technician can land somewhere from $60,000 to well over $100,000 a year, depending on region, shop type, productivity, and specialization. The ceiling exists, but it is earned with speed, accuracy, trust, and endurance. There is a reason not everyone makes it here. Your neck hurts. Your knees remember every winter. Your phone never fully stops buzzing. The emotional shift is subtle. Earlier, you wanted to prove you were good. Now you want peace. You want cleaner work, smarter apprentices, fewer comebacks, and service advisors who write honest stories. You start training younger technicians because teaching them is selfish in the best way. If they get better, your life gets easier. And then management notices something dangerous. You are not just good with machines. You are good with people under pressure. That is how a wrench turns into a clipboard. Level 7. The shop lad. You are no longer the fastest pair of hands in the building every day, and that bothers you at first. Your bay is still there, but now technicians stop you mid-job with questions, advisors need estimates explained, and the owner wants to know why effective labor hours dipped this week. Congratulations. You have entered the foreman or shop lead stage. You believe leadership is just being the best mechanic. The hard lesson is that the best mechanic often hates leadership at first because people are messier than engines. Cars do not gossip. Cars do not call out sick on Monday after posting boat photos on Sunday. Cars do not argue over dispatch fairness. Your pay may rise into roughly $70,000 to $90,000 in stronger markets, sometimes with bonuses, but the real currency changes from hours flagged to authority. You assign work, approve diagnostics, check comebacks, calm customers who arrive furious because their vehicle is still not done. You become translator, referee, and shield. The scene is different now. Instead of hearing only impact guns, you hear tone. A young tech is about to quit because he cannot beat flat rate. A veteran refuses to take online training on electric vehicles because he thinks it is all hype. The owner wants productivity, the team wants sanity. You stand in the middle and try to keep the place from eating itself. This is where you finally understand the business side. Labor rate, parts margin, unbilled diagnosis time, warranty reimbursement, comebacks as a profit leak, training as an investment, not a luxury. You realize plenty of brilliant technicians never become wealthy because they understand machines, but not money. Then the owner goes on vacation and leaves you in charge for a week. You handle payroll questions, a failed inspection machine, an angry fleet account, and a technician who needs a new lift arm pad yesterday. You survive. That is the moment the next level becomes visible. If you can run a shop, maybe one day you can own one. Level 8. The owner-operator. You sign the papers, take on the risk, and discover that owning a shop is not the same as escaping the trade. It is swallowing the whole trade at once. Rent or mortgage, insurance, environmental compliance, payroll taxes, scan tool subscriptions, equipment leases, customer reviews, parts returns, the coffee machine breaking at the exact moment 3 waiting customers need to complain at once. You believe ownership means freedom. The truth is that early ownership means responsibility with fluorescent lighting. You are now worried about car count, average repair order, technician retention, and whether the alignment rack can survive one more year. You might still wrench when the schedule explodes, but your real job is building a place where other people can wrench profitably. This is the level where the sharp mechanics who learned business can separate from the pack. A solid independent shop can do very well, but numbers vary wildly by location, team, and management skill. Some owners pay themselves modestly for years while reinvesting everything. Some eventually clear $150,000, $200,000 or more with multiple bays and strong processes. Some burn out and sell because the stress outruns the money. Your best tools now are not sockets. They are hiring judgment, customer trust, clean estimates, and process. You create inspection systems. Train advisors to sell honestly. Standardize diagnosis time. Decide whether to chase dealership-level programming and advanced driver assist calibration work or stay focused on high-volume maintenance and repair. And there is a final irony. After spending years proving you could fix anything, you now win by not touching every car yourself. You win by building a team that does not collapse without you. If you do it right long enough, one last door opens. Expansion, a second location, a buyout, or the rarest prize in this trade, legacy. Level 9, the name on the building. You are 40, 50, maybe older. The cheap starter ratchet from your first toolbox is still in a drawer somewhere, polished smooth from years of panic and overtime. Outside, your shop name means something now. Local fleets call you first. Customers wait for your schedule because they trust the diagnosis. Former apprentices run bays, manage stores, or own shops of their own because you train them. You believe the endgame is money, and yes, money finally gets real here. A strong shop with clean books, stable staff, and repeat business can become an asset worth a serious sale price. In some cases, buyouts for established operations can push into the high hundreds of thousands, sometimes around 500,000 or more, depending on region, property, equipment, and earnings. But the deeper reward is stranger. You are no longer just repairing vehicles. You are creating reliability for thousands of other people's lives. The cost is visible too. Missed dinners, worn shoulders, the smell of gear oil that never fully leaves old clothes, the marriages in this trade that did not survive, the friends who stayed at level 2 because they never learned a diagnosis, the rivals who chased speed and broke trust, the apprentices who passed you because they embraced new technology faster than you did. This career does not hand out victory. It invoices you for it, and that is the full ladder. You start with a rounded drain plug, $14 hours, and a bargain toolbox that feels too expensive. You end with certifications, reputation, maybe ownership, maybe a sale, maybe a business that runs because of systems you built. Somewhere in between, you stop trying to look like a mechanic and become one.